Hi, my name is Gabe Akers, and this is my question of policy speech. I decided to do it over the market for organs. How do you want to spend your last day on Earth? How do you give your final goodbyes? These are difficult questions to answer if you are not in that situation, but some people have to answer these questions today. Every day, at least 20 people have to answer these due to not getting an organ that they have needed for years. This long wait time is caused by a shortage in effect right now and has been in effect for years. The only way currently is to hope someone who is compatible dies while you are in line, or have an altruistic compatible person go under the knife and give you an organ. That is, if you need a non-vital one. There are ways that people can get an organ. It's surgery, like surgery, obviously, but it's either from an alive person or someone who just dies. But only certain amount of bodies that are dead can be used because their organs are still fully healthy and intact. According to the Health Resources and Service Administration, there are 113,000 Americans on the organ waiting list in 2019. Less than 35% of people in need actually receive transplants, and that's from organ donation statistics. Finally, financially compensating people for their organs will highly increase the amount of donors and overall supply of organs. People get paid when selling their belongings. An organ is just an extreme version of this. Getting more people to donate can be done through incentives. People respond to incentives. An incentive is defined as a payment or concession to stimulate greater output or investment. This idea can be proven in a number of different situations across the United States. An example of this is using money to boost grades and test scores in school. This was tried in low-income schools in New York, Dallas, and Chicago. These experiments have shown to work as long as researchers are incentivizing an input and an output. So in this case, school make an incentive for studying more rather than higher test scores, so they feel like they are in control. This is important because it shows that people are compensated, there will be a greater output. The incentive of money will encourage more than people who are just close to you to get the transplant. It'll push people who don't know you that just need money to also be willing to get a transplant and overall save your life. The current system of finding someone willing to give up an organ right now has people waiting for a kidney an average of 4.8 years, organ donation statistics. That is a very long and daunting period of time to get something in many cases their life depends on. A lot of people who desperately need a kidney do not make it to their turn to get a transplant. Just relying on people dying that have usable organs is not working at all. The numbers of the situation are really eye-opening. Since about 7,500 people in America die every day, that's approximately 4,350 that are organ donors. Of those, approximately only 14 people have usable organs. This means that there are only 5,110 usable bodies a year when 113,000 people are on an organ waiting list. They're not getting enough people dying to satisfy everyone who's waiting, but they're also not getting enough people willing to have surgery who are alive. Plus, finding someone compatible is an issue in itself. This is why they're increasingly relying on other people living to donate non-vital organs. The system needs to be revamped heavily. With the current system, they just let people die on a waiting list because there's no benefit to donating. How much is life worth? Paying someone for an organ that could increase your years on life seems like a reasonable expense to have. Giving a kidney is a deeper gift than just having surgery for someone. It gives them another chance at life. This generous person should be paid because your insurance will pay for it. It's just like paying another payment. It's a gift to receive an organ. It's the gift of life. They are paying for more years with their family and loved ones. This is a small price to pay compared to what they get in return. The donor is risking their life, that they won't make it off the table, but they're saving someone else's and getting paid for it. A lot more people would be willing to do that. There are a lot of solid benefits of financially compensating organ donors, but why is there no lift on the prohibition of selling your organs? Well, this market is deemed unethical because poor people might dismember themselves just so their family can live better. But there is no way to get a perfect system. As said by Thomas Sowell, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. The problem is that people who argue this do not think about how it will be regulated. There are a lot of ways. There will be no way to stop the unethical situations unless it's monitored by the government, which every market in America is monitored by the government. So it would just fall into that category. Legalizing the market for organ transplants will increase the supply of organs and ultimately save lives. This needs to be more talked about topic because the number of deaths caused by people not getting an organ is out of hand. Making the system legal will make a lot of people not have to answer how they want to spend their final day. They can spend more time with their families and doing what they love. They will not have to say early goodbyes. Repealing the old prohibition on this market and making a new system will tremendously boost the donation system. The government needs to repeal the ban of this market for organs from 1984. This will be the best way to start beating this issue. Talking about this issue is the first step to beating it. Pressing the policymakers in our country will be the only way to make change for this issue. That if undealt will never get better and people will continue to lose their lives in this majorly flawed system.